Witchspire is a very endearing, cute, but sometimes also very demanding survival game where you are playing a witch or a wizard. And to make this very clear, even though this is a survival builder game with a lot of exploration, there is no real survival component in it. Like, you don't need food, you don't need water, but there is food and water in the game, it's just buff food. But you will not have the moment where the game is like, oh my god, you are dying of thirst, do something, right? That doesn't really happen here. But believe me, there are enough things in this game which will murder you. So to make this also very clear, this is more or less a preview and not really a review, because this game is in early access, which means there are still tons of features which are missing and not fully completed. And I'm also in the Witchspire partner program, just to put that out there if this is important knowledge for you. It doesn't really change how I look at games. And yeah, just making it very clear that this is not a full-on review because the game is not out in 1.0, but nonetheless, they're asking money from you, so we have to look at the game and think, okay, what can you deliver? So, what is this game exactly? Well, at the beginning of the game, you create a witch or a wizard, and then you're choosing one of the schools or alignments at the beginning of the game. Now, to make this very clear, they don't do anything besides of choosing your starter weapon and your starter equipment, which you will swap out very quickly. What is far more important is the first companion you were choosing. Yes, there are companions, aka familiars, in the game, and they function very much like creature collector game like Pokemon, and they will fight at your side, they will level up, they have their own talent trees, and they have their own abilities and so on and so forth. But you can also utilize them to actually fill up your crafting machines, right? They will sometimes just give them a perk to work faster, or sometimes their crafting machines, you literally need specific familiars to actually run them at all. Now, before you think, wait a minute, that sounds like Palworld. No, it isn't. It's really not Palworld. Palworld is basically automation processes with pals, right, with your creatures, and you needed to just run your economy. Here, they're more or less a boon, and also you cannot do some of the crazy stuff you can do in Palworld, aka murder them or use them as slaves, right? Yeah, that's not a thing here. You are coexisting with your familiars. Your familiars are your friends, and again, you use them more for some boosters here and there, or to use like some of the items in the world. But that's about it. It's not Palworld, to make this very clear. Now, let's talk about the crafting aspects and the building, because, well, they are the bread and butter in every survival game, right? So building itself feels really good. It's very fast. It's clicks immediately. There are tons and tons of options to build your home, and you can go crazy, right? They give you, as I said, like tons of options to just build a witch tower or to do something else entirely. They have tons of items which you can use to just put them indoors and make your little home very cozy. And it will, like, if you want to focus just on the building aspects of this game, you can put like 20-30 hours into this easily, and I had a lot of fun. There were some few issues here and there when it came to the building, so the game is giving you the cool option that you are becoming like a ghost or a projection, and then you can fly around and you can build your house, which is really helpful, right? But there is a bit of a problem sometimes in some narrow areas. I sometimes had a camera angle issue where I couldn't really exactly see where I wanted to put my little wall here and there, because I was in a very narrow path. But yeah, that was the only problem I had. So not really a big deal, and I'm pretty sure they can fix that over time easily. Now let's talk about the crafting. The crafting is pretty standard. You know, you craft your equipment, you craft your food, your healing items, and so on and so forth, like the usual you are used to from survival games. And yes, you have to farm quite a bit of resources to make it work. But there's one thing I unfortunately do not like, or well, two things. They are all connected to one particular items, but they're basically two things, and that are chests. So, first thing first, you cannot transfer items from your inventory into the chest with a single button press, which are already in the chest. Right? Let's say you have an egg in your inventory, you have an egg in your chest, you just hit a button, and then it will transfer all the eggs into the chest or from the chest into your inventory. Doesn't exist. Don't know why. It's really annoying sometimes because there are tons of items in these games and they are all different, and you just want to quickly transfer all your items over. And yeah, they have to add that. Another thing also connected to the chest is you cannot craft from your chest. Nope. You have to grab all the items from the chest and then use it for crafting. I know some people will now say, yeah, that's how we have always done it in survival games. Yeah, but it's also 2026 and Unreal Engine 5 can do it. It's a nice feature, and I would really, really love to see that implemented as quickly as possible in the game. Because again, your base can become big very quickly, especially if you want to have multiple rooms with multiple distinguished items you want to craft, right? And yeah, you just don't want to run through your home the whole time to find like all the items you need to craft a new wand or something. So I really hope they are adding that. But let's talk about one of the two most important things in this game: exploration and fighting. Exploration in this game is absolutely awesome. It's really fun. There is tons of stuff to find: hidden chests, hidden enemies, riddles, jumping puzzles. There is so much cool stuff in this game, and the game is really rewarding you to really get up a mountain, or when you see something in the distance and go, "Ooh, what is that?" And then you actually going there and you will find something cool. Sometimes it's not even a chest, it's a specific familiar you can capture earlier than usual, or it's very powerful. Like, the game is giving you so much to explore, and I can just say exploration in this game is definitely the most fun I had. Like, they have absolutely nailed it. And they did something else super smart. So you are a witch, right? Or I'm playing a witch here. And of course, you are getting a broom at some point. And the broom allows you to fly everywhere. The thing is, that trivializes a lot of things on the map because, well, you can just fly up a jumping puzzle. You can fly around certain enemies and open up the chest. Yes, you can even fly around certain world bosses and open up their chests behind them. They have to fix that a little bit, but that's just a small thing. And I have seen this before in other games, like Dune Awakening, right? When you are getting your ornithopter, the game is becoming so trivial because, ooh, sandworms. Yeah, I'm flying in the air. I I I don't care, right, for the sandworms anymore. And the developers in Witchspire did something smart. So they had towers on, or a tower on every island, and you have to activate it. And you have to do certain things for it. You have to find like glowing orbs, and when you have activated the tower, that's the moment you can fly. Before that, this is a no-fly zone, and the game is grounding you, well, to the ground. And you have to find those orbs. Sometimes they are on a very high peak, or sometimes you even have to defeat one of the story bosses to get to the orb, and so on and so forth. And you will probably have explored around 75% of the island before you were actually getting the ability to fly around. It very much remembered me of MMOs like Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft, where they are doing the same thing. And I love that they are doing this. This is such a smart move because, yes, it gives you the ability to fly around quickly, but it doesn't trivialize most of the things at the beginning. And again, that's such a good choice. Good on them. Now, you might be wondering why I kept the fighting for last. Because unfortunately, fighting right now in this game needs some major love. It's not good. Like, there's no feedback when you were hitting the enemies. There's barely any feedback when you were getting hidden. When you were getting hit, I had too many abilities which are very powerful, and they are clearly designed around you dodging them. And there is no cue. Like, you don't see anything on the ground, they don't glow, you don't hear a certain sound. And sometimes when you are fighting against multiple enemies, you don't necessarily see that winding up animation they're doing because they might be in your back. And then you are still at 75% health, and bam, you were dead. You were like, wait, what just killed me? What's going on here? Right? I had that happen so often to me. It really became annoying. Like, there is zero feedback in your attacks. The attacks look cool, the animation look great, but when they hit, there is zero feedback on your end or the enemy's end. And as I said, when you have some abilities which are clearly designed to be major damage abilities, you need to dodge. They have to make this clearer. Right. So I sometimes felt like I am playing a Dark Souls game where you are just dodging the whole time. And even the dodging is not really great because the problem is, yes, your dodging looks really powerful, but it really isn't because a lot of the enemies are just locked onto you. And you really have to wait for the last millisecond before you dodge if you want to dodge a certain attack. And as a melee fighter, which I'm playing, it's really hard because you're already super close to the enemy. A lot of their attacks are range attacks, anyways. So you are just getting hit in the face immediately by those range attacks, and you had no chance of dodging. There was no way because, like, some of the normal attacks don't have a wind up, they don't have an animation, they're just spitting them out and then you see them flying towards you. But when you're melee range, there's nothing flying towards you. So it's like, huh? What am I doing? So range fighting is definitely easier than melee fighting. But yeah, they have to work on the combat. Like, the combat is not satisfying, which really sucks. And yeah, it's my biggest gripe I have with the game right now. But that's fixable. And if you were looking for a relatively cozy game, like as I said, the combat can be quite stressful. Do not underestimate that. But if you were looking for a cozy game which tries something different, which with you being a witch slash wizard with also companions attached to it, then I can definitely recommend the game. But please keep in mind, it's still early access. There are bugs, there are issues. What there is no issue with is performance. This is the last thing I will say. It's an Unreal Engine game, and well, I normally don't have problems with Unreal Engine games, but besides of course the ones where the developers just completely screwed up, but this game is just running fine. I'm running it on epic settings. I'm not using any like fake frames or anything. I don't even think they have that. 4040p, and I'm just running it at 60 fps the whole time. And yeah, I'm really happy with the performance this game already has in early access. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. And also, if you're new to the channel, you want to see more videos and also something which is focusing on RPs and survival games, you came to the right place, and I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe. With that said, have a good one, stay safe, bye-bye.